Welcome to season 9 of A Little Birdie Told Me. I'm your host, Rebecca Horan, and on episode 3, I'm delighted to be talking to Charlene Flanagan, who's co-founder of Ella and Joe and a mum of 2. Charlene came all the way up from Sligo, and she is just a ray of sunshine. So much warmth and joy and love and heart, but her story is inspirational. I hope you enjoy it. To all my gorgeous listeners, because every parent deserves peace of mind, I'm thrilled to share that this episode is brought to you in partnership with Optimal Follow-On Milk, the #1 follow-on milk brand in Ireland. Optimal Follow-On Milk is a product you can trust. It's specially designed to support babies' growth and development as it contains calcium and vitamin D, which contributes to the normal growth and development of bone. With over 50 years of dedicated breast milk research, Optimal Follow-On Milk brings science and care together to support your baby's journey. Optimal Follow-On Milk, your life, our science. Important notice, breastfeeding is best. Follow-on milk should be used as part of a mixed diet from 6 months. Please speak to a healthcare professional for advice. To verify #1, contact the Optimal Care Line. Okay, another episode, and this lady has driven up from the wild, wild west. I was like, Sligo. It is Charlene Flanagan. She is, of course, co-founder of Ella and Joe, and a mama of 2, and just, another badass businesswoman in the studio, but just full. You know what I would say about her? I met her, I was like, oh, she's joyful. So much warmth and joy. There was no God, the traffic, God, so good to meet you, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Yeah, I'm delighted to be here. Sure, listen, I will pack a day now in Dublin and make the day out of it.
Make hay while this, you'll just go and do you were like, no, I've got this and I've got meetings.
But what a great way to start my day with you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so honoured you've come on. This is a real baptism of fire for some people because they're like, what are we doing on this?
No. Your podcast is amazing. Stop it.
But it's not, it's not business, and it's not really just being a mama either, and it's not. It's a lot of different things. So
it's
we'll
like
see where it takes us.
With your friends, yes. I think. I love that you can stick it on, and I feel like I'm in the kitchen with the cup of tea with anybody that you speak with, and I feel like I'm in that, and you'd be bobbing the head along. So fair play to you, because that's not an easy thing to do without making it too structured or making it feel like as if there's a real, almost like clickbait kind of analogy behind it. It's just real people, real conversations. So fair play to you.
Well, you're very kind. I don't do a ton of. I would know the person is a big deal, and I know that people want them on, and I'd know a bit, but I don't reach out to agents, and I'm very careful to go direct. And I also don't do too much research, because then I think you're like, oh wow, that happened. There's so many women that come on this, and I don't really know that they've had, because I think every human has had a story, but I wouldn't know of all of the story. And I'm like, Jesus. I think that's nice.
I love that about people as well, that there's always something, like a little spark or a little seed that through a conversation, whether it's the seed that it sparks in you or them, or that something actually just gets unpacked unknowingly, and I love that about face to face,
And Star by Joe, who was our first guest this season, because we're in season 9 now, love her, but didn't really know of some of the little struggles and the beauty. She spoke with such eloquence about everything she's gone through, and that's why this is just such an important forum. So listen to me, you Mrs. Oh my God, okay, out in Sligo killing it, out in Dublin, out in the world killing it. Before I talk about your family life, your relationship, your children, Ella and Joe is your baby. It's a huge part of your life. How long is it going on, and where the hell did it come from? Because it's a beautiful brand.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been 8 years since I suppose the initial first product launch. Myself and Niamh, who's my co-founder, would often say, though, we were still working full-time. Ella and Joe was just like a passion project in the beginning. There was no big brand guidelines, no big massive story. We just knew that there was a demographic or a consumer out there that needed skincare to really speak to them. The busy woman who just wanted to spend time on herself, but felt really overwhelmed by clinical ingredients, 12-step Korean skincare, etc. And we were like, right, okay, we can definitely make this easier. Niamh being a skin therapist, I was a makeup artist. We had this one-to-one where we just intuitively knew what women were asking for without them actually asking themselves. So it started off the first 3 years basically where it was a side hustle.
So you were working?
We were working full time,
and then
both of us.
pumping your own cash into this?
And exactly. So no salary for the first few years, pumping everything back in, one product a year. So there was no huge risk, no throwing the house at it, no huge debt
and no
kind of in the
10-year
beginning.
plan. It was we'll pop away at this.
We loved it. We just used to meet in the Ice House Hotel for coffee, and we'd be like, so I have an idea, let's do this. We both have marketing backgrounds. me more so in digital, and like I did all the social media, I did all the website, thrived off all of that. It very much was like just the two of us for the first few years. So even though it was 8 years from first product, I would say it really started to kind of be taken seriously, and we ultimately kind of took ourselves out of our full-time careers in about 2020. So I'd say it's only about 5 years really kind of like saying, oh God, this could actually be something.
Okay, so you have an idea for like skincare that's easy for women who are busy, which is like all of us.
Yeah.
How do you formulate it, ingredients, get it together, package it up, make sure you're not bankrupt by it, and kind of keep that going and then keep your money coming in? And you didn't have kids at that stage.
I did. Well, actually, yes, I did. Yeah, I had, I found out after having the first conversation with Niamh, 6 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant with first baby.
Okay.
But we still kept trucking. Niamh had 2 children at that stage. I thought my world had ended at that stage. I was like, that's it. I'm not going to be able to do this. And she was like, Charlene, it's grand.
And after in a few years, this will be even better for you when it's still there.
Yeah. And like, I'm grateful that I did all of that messy startup phase when they were really tiny. I had loads of support at home, hubby, mum, dad. So like kids didn't even know I was gone. You know, I was such, like, I loved my job. I loved my work. any opportunity, anything that I could do. And like, you were only doing it like a couple of days a week. I was able to do it in my own time.
Busy.
I like being busy, yeah.
Like challenged, fulfilled, busy. Like you're not someone who's going to tick away, right? You're not someone who's going to go, I won't be doing that, because it's, so you do need a lot, right?
Oh, yeah, I get real excited.
Yes.
I get real like,
okay, so you're hungry for stuff. Okay, so that fired you. Like not everyone is like that, but that fired you through a pregnancy, you know, a business plan with your co-founder, you know, your own job, your home life. Like you really believed in this product, correct?
I absolutely did. Okay. I always say in the early days, like I was 26, like when I got married, 28 when I had my first baby, 29 when I had my second baby, and we launched Ella and Joe when I was 28. So I had a lot of naivety, number one, where I just was like,
ignorance is
go
bliss.
for it 100%. If I could bottle that again 8 years on, you know, because through the entire process now, you know, I suppose you have to become more structured. Like we're in a huge stage of growth, and we're in a huge stage of like, now it's like people are talking big words and big analogies, and it's like raising a child. I've never done this before. I've never built a business from nothing. And we're at a stage now where you have all these big consultants and, you know, all these big agencies that are talking all these big languages and big words and global and whatever. And you're kind of just going, someone put on the kettle there for a minute.
Yeah, but at least that wasn't when you were having a baba, like it, which is just a lot, you know.
Yeah, so I'm grateful that, I suppose, and other people might think differently. I often say like one woman's normal is another woman's nightmare. For me, when the kids were really small and not hanging out of me, like my little girl now would be like, where are you going? You
100%. I agree. I actually agree with that. I think that baba toddler phase is intense.
Yeah.
But I can't, like I spoke to someone at the weekend, they're like, Rebecca, it gets harder in different ways. Like it's beautiful, but it's more challenging in different ways. They need you in different ways, right? And they do. My 8-year-old needs me a lot.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you, when they're just kind of there and the stuff gone, you can create a business or start, or why can't you?
How wonderful though, you know,
How
to be
wonderful.
able to.
Yeah.
And I see so many people doing that now, especially since the pandemic.
Yes.
You know, where a lot of women had a lot of light bulb moments of saying, oh my God, like from a little device, a pocket, like from our pockets, we can set up a whole business, a global business. We can set up a podcast. We can set up a social media platform. We can sell direct online. There are so many options now that we have, that honestly, like the world is literally in your pocket. And like also, what's the definition of success? Do you know, like mine is definitely just to feel joy in like what I do, feeling like I've got a purpose. I'm a real connective person. So I want every part of my role, you know, in my professional living to be that I know that I am changing something for someone else. So when I was a makeup artist, no one sat in my chair for the 45 minutes without understanding what their skin type was, what their eye shape was, what eyeshadow color suited them, you know, et cetera, et cetera. It's the same with online. Any piece of content I put out there, I'm like, what is the other person getting out of this? You know, I'm not just talking for the sake of talking. So absolutely, I believe that every connection that you make, you know, that it's almost like, and it's not that I'm constantly being like, what are they going to get out of it? I think it's just ingrained in me that I just try to bring out the best in people, because we all have such incredible power and ability. And something that I live by is that like, we all have a choice.
Yes.
And yes, some choices can be harder than others, but we do have a choice. Yes. And whether that's how we talk to ourselves or whether that's actually making a tangible decision, like leaving your career or whatever, It all starts with the mind and starting to talk to yourself just a little bit nicer, soften a little bit more, be kinder to yourself and meet yourself with where you're at right now. Like Charlene 6 years ago when she was in the thick of having like a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old is very different to the Charlene now that has an 8-year-old and 7-year-old, so meet yourself with where you're at. And
100%.
That you can evolve and you can change, and your old stories that you told yourself can evolve and can change. So I just think everyone just needs to soften just a little bit and remember that you've got a choice.
I think it's like the post-COVID thing you speak about and how you were kind of in, very important for me at that time. You do feel that women, would I be correct in saying, I don't know if it words anyway, get a hard old rap of it in the workplace and with children at home, like that it's not a feckin' easy one.
Absolutely.
And so if you can build your own little baby on the side and make your cash, go for it, because it's really hard to break ceilings elsewhere.
Yeah, well, if that's the drive in you, at the end of the day, when you ask yourself if you're going to start a business, because starting your business isn't an easy road to take either. You will never work as hard as what you will on your own project, but it comes from a completely different place. So Mel Robbins often will say who are you doing it for and why are you doing it? So whether that's a period of your life because you've got small children at home and this is just the choice that you have to make, always remember that nothing is forever. Yes. I think people often get tied into this thing of failure if a business closes down or it's no. You learned so much from that. You did it in a period of your life when you needed to do that. Never underestimate the skills and the power and the learnings that you make, even if something doesn't necessarily actually work out. The vision that you maybe had for yourself, but there will always be something else.
Yeah, you're very positive, which is very important in business. Ella and Joe is now that many years old. Yeah. What would you, if I was meeting you for an elevator pitch now, what is Ella and Joe now and how many products do you have? And how has it become, where is it and how has it become so successful?
So it's skincare for joyful moments. So basically we wanted to create a skincare range that women essentially knew that they had to do every morning and every evening. But we were like, why can we not make it a moment for her? Take back more time, take back a slow moment in her already tornado busy day. So whether that's through Melt the Day Away cleansing balm. So it's whether slowing down and just taking a deep breath. So everything from the sensory scent to the touch to the look and feel of the packaging, everything is designed to make you, I suppose, feel either a zest in the morning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's either meant to make you feel uplifted and zesty in the morning, or it's meant to kind of almost wind you down and encourage you to take a deep breath in the evening time. So our demographic is so wide spanned. It's from any woman aged mid-30s up to 70s. There's no real but our sweet spot is maybe women in their 40s, late 30s, into their 40s and kind of into 50s. These women that I suppose are kind of rearing children or caregivers maybe for their own parents that just find they don't have enough hours in the day and they find it really difficult to find time for themselves but want to so desperately. So we've created this range basically really simplistic that it's essentially 3 steps in the morning, 3 steps in the evening. We do have 24 products entirely in the range, but obviously as a skincare brand you need to be able to cater for add-ons and additional skin conditions and things like that. But we always come back to the customer every time that we're developing a new product because we are always so creative and thinking what's next. And in the beauty industry it is what's next. But everything is so considered. We've often gotten to the stage where we've trialed a product, tested it, sampled it, and then we actually sit back and go, where is that going to come into her every day? And is that going to cause her confusion? And is that an extra step for her? And then sometimes we just pull it and we're just that doesn't align with who we're talking to and what she needs. So it always comes back to...
Is it successful?
Is what?
Is the brand doing well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go on. So you're seeing success.
It's repeat purchase for me. It's
and
all
it's
well and good.
It's in where it's in a few big places.
Yeah, I know. And there's some big things that have happened. We've won Best Irish Skincare Brand. Amazing. We won Best New Brand in the UK with CEW. Even myself and Niamh won Businesswomen of the Year. All these huge accolades that came 6 years of hard slog,
But you're seeing it now. It's paying off now, right?
Yeah.
Why Ella and Joe? Why the name?
Oh, So there's two of us as co-founders. We sat down one day, wrote down words that meant things to us. Neve had a skin clinic called Bella Beauty for years, so she just took Ella from the Bella. My married name is Jones, and the Joe is short for my married name.
That's clever. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. I have a dog called Ella, which confuses things massively.
Everyone's like, is that your dog?
No, genuinely,
like, no.
Everybody thinks that it's named after the dog. There will probably be lots of listeners on here going, God, I thought it was named after her dog. No.
I love it. I love that I'm seeing people's makeup bags at the moment with so many Irish products in it. Like, you know, Ellen Joe Hilda, and then you'll see Poco Beauty. Yeah. Then you'll see, like, you know, if it's Cocoa Bread. I'm blown away by this small island having this business beauty.
Ireland deserves to be on a global platform. I have travelled the world over the last couple of years exploring beauty halls, beauty destinations across Middle East, the US, like even in Europe. And I am like, oh my God, like Ireland belongs on the global stage in terms of its formulations, but it's the entrepreneurs.
That's,
at the end of the day, that's the sweet spot.
Like formulation's great, and we do have some talented, you know,
but
badass
it's the people
bitches,
that are
formulating
them.
It's
It's the women
in
business.
It's the enterprising, like if you think of how Pippa started, if you think about, you know, even Marissa, Susie Grimm, like you just look at these products and you're like, these are beautiful products that like you want, like sculpted, you guys. Yeah. It's incredible to me, and I'm kind of reaching for these things that maybe back in the day would have been like, no, it'll have to be an American or French product. Like I wouldn't pick an Irish. These are like properly beautiful, recognized
My
globally.
entire makeup bag is, apart from, you know, maybe one or two products that might be European, like NARS or Charlotte Tilbury or something like that. But I would say like 95% of my makeup, and obviously my skincare is Ellen Joe, but my makeup, even my hair care, body care, I try as often as I can. And, you know, it's not even that I buy it just because it's Irish and I'm trying to be like, ooh, support Irish. I genuinely love them.
They're really good.
Like I wouldn't go back. And I think that's the sweet spot with Irish products is that we are so unique in this country that the feedback that we get, we wouldn't be able to launch terrible products because our communities would tell us.
It's a heavily engaged and it's a pretty small community. So they would let us know. And I think that trial and tested, but also anyone I've had on the pod who's in the beauty game, they're just so gorgeous. So you know it's working. Like I'm looking at your skin now. And I know that you're not pumped with stuff and you're not full of stuff and you have such beautiful skin and then movement and it's naturally stunning. So I know, oh, well, whatever she's doing is working for her, right?
Thank you very much.
And then I have the other gals on who are in the makeup and I'm like, their makeup is, and even, I had a beautiful gal on, I will remember her name, and she was just like the best makeup ever. I was like blown away. So there's natural talent there. Is this a long-term life project? Like this is it now? This is you?
I wouldn't say it.
Yeah. She's got all the stuff in her pocket.
I am just entrepreneurial, but this is my focus right now. Yeah. I want to make Ella and Joe the best that it can be, and I want Ella and Joe to be on a global stage because I believe it deserves to be there.
Like in Kmart, like in...
It would mean that, that it's essentially recognised in other markets outside of the Irish domestic market. And like, I'm not looking for like the huge success of, let's say, like the Charlotte Tilbury or Rhode or any of these kind of huge successes, but I just want it to be recognised. I want to just bring the joy outside of Ireland because we've done so well in our domestic market, and in the last couple of years we've been in the UK market. We ship over to over 50 countries globally, nationwide. We ship over 50 countries globally anyway, so like it's essentially all Irish that are living out abroad. But the Irish are incredibly loyal, and like when we're an Enterprise Ireland client, and like we go on different like expeditions and whatever else with Enterprise Ireland, and the Irish are literally like, they tell all their friends, they tell all their family, they buy it as gifts. You know, we're stocked in Dublin Airport, like, and they are literally like, people are coming through and they're bringing it. Like it's a ripple effect, I think, and it all starts, I suppose, with the heart of the brand essentially, and people know that what they're buying is good quality, and they know that if they gift it on to somebody else, that it's something that's going to be really well received.
Your family must be very proud, are they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Like I don't think so. I know so. They've actually told me. Yeah, they've told me how proud they are of me.
Like your daughter must think, wow.
She doesn't really. She does and she doesn't. She's just turned 8 there in December. So she, like, for a very long time, like, she didn't know what Mammy did, and it's only really now that she'd know briefly that she knows I have Ella and Joe, obviously, because she sees my face in posters, like in shops, and she's like, sorry. And like my mum has been in posters, my granny has been in posters. So like she's walking down our local town and then she's like, there is granny and great granny. Like, what's the story?
Amazing.
So she kind of knows, and like I would talk to her really positively about like, being a woman in business, and that, you know, mummy loves what she does and this is what I do, and she knows that I make creams and stuff like that, and she'd be coming up with little wild ideas as well, like with all her little glitter roller balls, and she's like, would you make a pink one of these, or like a water bottle, and it'd be like, can I have an Ella and Joe
what's
one?
my market?
Yeah. So she,
but she's not upset. It's not an obsession.
No, she hasn't a clue. Yeah, really. And my little boy hasn't a clue either. Like, they just know that I own Ella and Joe and that mummy goes to work every day. And my husband actually came on as managing director in April of last year. So now both of us are in the business together.
So did he leave a gig for this?
Yeah, he was 20 years with TK Maxx, and he was a European operations manager.
Wow.
So the 2 years previous to that, like, I was solo parenting for nearly 2 years. He was traveling. He would have been in Austria, like Poland, Germany. And I suppose that was hard.
Yes.
Yeah. But at the same time, I just was like, okay, this is just the new normal.
Did you kind of go, this is a period of our lives where he's going to be killing it and he's going to travel and it's going to be horrendous, but like, this is just a little moment, but we're going to get through it? Or were you like, when you were in it, just like, this is the trenches?
I just was in it. I missed him. Like, I think I didn't mind,
it wasn't doing it on my own.
That
you missed him.
I just missed him. I felt really lonely in the evenings, and I remember just, just feeling really lonely, you know, and
you don't have the pal or the banter or even the romantic part of the relationship, because you can't tic-tac he's working and you're working.
He's working, and I understood that he was doing his thing, I was doing my thing, you know, we were just juggling. And as I said, my mum and dad and my sister are so incredibly supportive. So like, they literally held the fort for me, because I couldn't stop doing what I was doing. We were having significant growth in the UK, so I was back and forward to London, like, constant. So my mum and dad and sister were incredible, like, look at loads of support, you know. But so he essentially, I was trying to kind of coax him into the business for a while. Looking back,
you just knew he would work.
He's amazing. Yes. Like, he is a completely different brain to me. So he's operations, like, he really sees detail in like numbers, whereas I'm allergic. I'm like, oh no, thank you. Whereas give me marketing plans, creative. Amazing. So he is like the yin to the yang, really, and like, he's had over 20 years experience managing teams as well. And so he essentially came in to step in as managing director, which has very similar properties to operations. And the business has thrived since he has come in.
It's just there's a good person at the helm. And
because I wasn't that person. And I don't want to speak for Niamh, but like, I wasn't that person. I didn't enjoy managing people. I was like, that's not my soul. Like, that's not my joy. Like, my joy is, you know, like, let's come up with all the ideas and let's make sure they're executed. And, you know, I love to see like before and after, and, you know, like the process. Whereas like, don't ask me to sit down with spreadsheets and don't ask me to plan out the thing. I'm like, oh no.
But that's his forte.
That's his forte.
He's happy involved in this now. This is his joy.
Yeah, like, it's been a big change. It's been a big change working for a huge conglomerate brand that has one person for one job and one role, to then coming in and he now has to do the job of 15 people.
Yeah.
But like, our lives have changed significantly, you know, and like, we get on so well.
I was going to say, always there's a bit of like, don't work with your partner or your dog or your cat or your, like, is it nice because you separate that from that, and you're actually doing like, you're here today, you tic-tac, you do different stuff, you're very like, you're very camera facing for this to promote it, and he does his thing, or do you kill each, like, is it hard when you're coming back?
I'm doing this 8 years, you know, so I knew, and we had a managing director in the business prior to that, which didn't unfortunately work out. I think coming into a founder-led business is very difficult, because you have founders that are so involved.
Yes.
It's not like a business, you know, where, you know, that you just come in and you do your job and the founder is nowhere to be seen, or the owner is nowhere to be seen. We are a headcount. Like, we do jobs, and we could do the jobs of 15 people if we wanted to. So we had learned a lot through that experience. Whilst it was a difficult process, you know, because you never want to see anybody leave. You'd hope that people stay and, you know, whatever. And so we that lesson taught us an awful lot about what we actually needed, what we were comfortable with, what the boundaries were. And I'm a great woman for listening to people that have walked the path before. So I would listen to I have finance consultants that are in their 60s, you know, and they maybe have worked with their partners. And like, what they told me, I took on board. They were like, set the boundaries early on. Make sure you schedule in time for, you know, home life,
for crack,
joy, you know, and whatever.
So just be like, let's go on a date, but let's talk about the numbers.
I know.
That's
I know.
Really, but
it
I
does
also
happen.
think that's normal too. It's like when you say, we're not going to talk about the kids tonight, we're going to go and have a really sexy night. And you do.
Yeah.
You do say she's struggling, because your time is so finite. Like,
yeah.
I gave out about it at the weekend. I was like, we didn't actually talk about the fun stuff. He's like, yeah, but sometimes we just got to go through
Sometimes you just do. I know. And like, I think Ella and Joe and the business and your kids, like that is part of who
That's
you
your
are.
life, yeah.
And it is your life. But you do have to remember sometimes, and I'm very good now at being like, you know, like in the morning times, like before he might run out the door into the office, he might be like, I'll just ask you something. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of like getting kids out for school and you know.
Time.
So so sometimes we give a little bit of.
So he works in a space that isn't within the home. So you're not like on top of each other, like he's outside
so he's
the
in
house.
the office,
Right.
and then I pop in and out to the office, you know, when I'm needed. I'm the distraction in the office, to be honest. I just want to go in and have tea and have the crack with everybody and find out what everybody's bought, what they're wearing. So it's been an amazing experience. And honestly, like at the end of the year, when I looked back on reflection, I don't think I could have got through that year. I had a personally tough year, just with the growth of the business and the pace that it was going at. He stepped in at the exact right time that I needed him to. So he was just my anchor, really.
Talk to me about you and him. So what's the love story? Where did you meet?
Yeah.
Go on, give us some juice.
I had come out of a 6-year relationship prior to that, and I was really young, 22.
Very young, 6-year relationship.
I know.
Were you off your rocker?
I know,
Met him in school or met him...
Mihal, is it my husband?
No, the chap you were with before, was he a schoolboy?
You just knew him through mutual friends,
6 years, wow.
Yeah. And then I met Mihal not long after actually we had broken up, probably like within like 8 weeks. Yeah. Wasn't looking for anything, but he was just so kind and so charming, and he smelt really lovely.
It's always the way when you're not like, you're like, I don't want a relationship, I've just had this, you have this lad comes in, it's mental how that happens.
Yeah, so we from get-go, I kind of had, it was really funny, I believe in like the universe and fate, and it was funny how like in the weeks leading up to it, without us actually being in each other's company and face to face, we would like randomly see each other, bump into each other. So it was like the universe was just like,
in Sligo.
He would tell me that like he had seen me at different things. He was like, I absolutely fancied the pants off,
cute.
but like never approached me because you know, whatever. And at the time then it was St. Stephen's night. I was full of alcohol on the night. He was sober, and I remember spotting him and just thinking in my head, I am going to go and find Mihal and I'm going to kiss him. And that was me. Yeah, and I did. And then we were literally inseparable from there on in. Yeah, he's 7 years older than me, and I think at 22 there was no messing. Yeah,
there was none of this. We may or may not, like, this is it now.
Yeah, he was like, I like you, and I was like, I like you. And we really just hit it off. Like within 6 months, you know, like we'd gone on our first holiday together. And I remember on that holiday, it was literally like, without it being too serious, it was just like, do you want kids? Yeah, I want kids. Yeah, do you want to get married? Yeah. So I always in my gut knew that he was the man I was going to marry, like, you know, and he would often say the same. So we're 15 years together in total.
And 7 years is a nice age gap, because there is that yin yang then. You're growing, he's growing. But I think with lads, they need a bit of fucking time,
I was wild. I was wild when I was younger.
He tamed you?
Well, I wouldn't say that. He was just older. He had a proper job. I was in college and I was loving my life. But
do you regret? We know you love Mihal, and we're not dissing the Mihals, right? Yeah. Do you ever go, I wish I had those 2 years to be a bold one, or not?
Nah.
No. Do you wish you'd met Mihal like maybe a year or two after Charlene? No.
No, I think
you can tell us.
No, I really don't think so.
No, you were happy out. Yeah.
Yeah, I really was.
And you're a relationship girl, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know any different. I was with my previous partner, you know, since I was like 16,
you had your crack with me, or maybe you didn't need to have it without him.
No, I was always, even when I was younger, do you know when the girls would be talking about like kissing boys and going to discos, I was like, no, I'm allergic. You know,
one guy,
I had fun for my hiatus of like 8 weeks, you know, and I was kissing, you know, whenever you'd be out in nightclubs.
But not long term. Yeah, okay.
No. But it just happened. It didn't, there was no real thought behind it, and it just sort of happened.
How soon did you get married? So
5 years.
Okay,
so
nice.
3 years engaged, 5 years married. Yeah, so we're 10 years married this year now.
I did that now a year or two ago. Was I 10 years married? Yeah, that's quite the...
It's really big, isn't it?
Yeah, it is big. You're like,
whoa, how'd that happen?
Do you know when you used to do that, were 1 year married too, and everyone would send you a card because they gave a shit, and like your mates would be texting, there'd be an Instagram pic, and it was all, and then 5 years passed and it felt really heavy. It's like, wow, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
10 years snuck up on us, and I was like, that is insane.
Same. Yeah, like, a lot happened
I actually
in that.
felt like a decade, like this 2016 thing that's gone on, the trend. That's a bit intense on Instagram.
Yeah.
10 years is actually a lot.
It's a lot. Like, you're a completely different person.
Yes.
Like, and I think that's mad. You know, like, I definitely seen 2016, I think was definitely the pivotal moment where I'm just not that same person, you know, and like, I don't think any of us are really.
No, and that's good. And like, I looked at it and I'm like, God, I was such a baba, and I was so hungry and I was so desperate, and I was saying yes to everything, and I was also very insecure. And like I look at the pics and they're beautiful and cute, but there's an innocence. But also I'm like, I wish I'd said to her, chill.
Yeah. There's a version of me that I just want to go back and hug as well, because she was incredibly mean to herself.
Yes.
You know, she bullied herself about her size, and she based her worth on her weight and the labels that she wore, and you know how validated she was in the world. And I just want to go back and tell her, like, you're enough. Like, you are enough. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, stop trying to prove yourself, because the right people will find you and they'll stay.
But also nobody cares.
Well, yeah,
there is a bit of that.
Yeah.
Like, no one is really talking about us like that. So you get married to Mihal, who's a dirty ride. He smells nice, which we know.
Smells delicious.
The Baba thing, you were saying you weren't planning Excel spreadsheets to have kids. Like you said, that was kind of a surprise. So talk to me about that. Like, because that's, like, I would be honest, within the year having another sounds really intense. Yeah,
so definitely second was probably the bigger surprise of the first. Like, Anna was 5 months when I found out that I was expecting Charlie. So Did you
kind of want to do that, or were you like...
Yeah, like there was no real like going back on contraception or whatever else, but we had tried to get pregnant without actively being like, oh, ovulation, blah, blah, blah. You know, like we were just like, yeah, we're married now. Let's just see what the crack is and see what happens. We had just built a house and moved into our own forever home. And I actually maintain, looking back, that it was stress on the body was why I probably wasn't getting pregnant at the time. Just my body wasn't ready. But then it was like, once we moved in, we were kind of like settled, got pregnant with Anna, and she was born, as I mentioned earlier, Christmas Day, she was born. And then the following May, then I find out that I'm pregnant with Charlie again. And 2 was always our sweet spot anyway. Yes, we always had said, would love to. Always in some weird envisaged like that I'd have 2 girls, because I only have 2 sisters. I have no brothers. So I just always thought, I'll always just be girls, you know. So Charlie comes along, lovely big surprise, and now they are 8 and almost 7, and yeah, they're just my little world.
So how was the leap? Like, you've got your Bobo here, then you're having a little boy. Like, did you love being pregnant?
Yeah, loved being pregnant. Yeah, loved it.
Wow, I think you're the only person out of 100 interviews. Yeah, I think I've had women go, I was grateful to be pregnant.
No,
I enjoyed
loved it.
But most have found it really, wow, okay.
Loved
so
it.
Vibed it, weren't ill.
No. Like I was nauseous and you'd be sore and you know whatever. But I was working constantly. I kind of didn't really have time to think about it. I was a makeup artist, thriving in my career. I was booked out, you know, for bridal 2 years in advance. You know, so like that was again naivety. That word, like almost like just get on with it. You know, I was young,
Couldn't think about it.
Yeah, my mum was incredible as well. Like, my mum had us really young. Mum was 22 and 23, and then she was 29, like, when she had us 3 girls. So, like, she was a young mum. So I just kind of followed her. She was incredibly supportive. My dad, sisters, like, hubby, like, everybody.
So Baba's come along, labour's okay, no dramas?
Yeah, loved it, yeah.
So that is kind of all worked out for you. But then it's like, the village has to step in and help with the business.
100%.
Yes.
I wouldn't be where I am today without that village.
Would you say that?
100%.
Okay. So having your mama near, you're talking about your sister there, like your people that you have in Sligo, like they're fundamental to this working.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Like when I was doing makeup artistry, as much as you tried to plan your week, things would pop up. I'd be asked to come up to Dublin and do somebody's makeup on TV, you know, like last minute. And what can you do? You know, you just had to stop, drop and roll for the opportunity. You could either say yes or you could say no, but I was very much in like a opportunity. Come on, let's take it. And my mum was like, you go girl. Wow. She could see that I was really in the peak, and she was like, I remember just early days, you know, I can't remember if I was pregnant or before, but she was like, Charlene, pregnancy and children will not ruin your life, they'll enhance it. And she said, for as long as I'm around, she said, you will never have to worry about.
That's such an amazing... Yeah. God, I was thinking about my moany morning, and I was a bit wrecked, and we an accident. One of the kids fell last night. Aww. And then just for you to say, children and pregnancy will not ruin your life; they'll enhance it. That is incredible. We don't get enough of that.
Yeah, no, it's hard. Don't get me wrong.
No.
I get
it's super hard, but like also beautiful. But that's a great one. I love that. Will only enhance your life. I would say that's true. Even
it changes your outlook.
Even with the pissiest of days, I'm so grateful I have them. Like, especially when work is hard or you're not getting the opportunities or someone's pissed you off. Knowing I'm collecting my girls or seeing them is just literally such a joy.
Well, I just go back to seeing the world through their eyes. Like, forget about all the fluffy shit and all the career stuff and whoever sent you the email that pissed you off during the day. go down and just sit and just look at the daisies in the garden. Go find shapes in the clouds. Go outside and bounce on the trampoline, because that's what it's all about. Find the joy and the laughter, and because at the end of the day, in your final moments, no one's going to remember that, you're not going to be bothered about the person who sent you the shitty email or whatever. Like, I love seeing the world through their eyes. Like, I always will bring myself back to that and just go, right, okay, just back to that childlike kind of innocence. And that's just what keeps me going, to be honest.
Do you love being a mum? Yeah. Like, you love it?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of your biggest joys as well as being a businesswoman?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like,
and you feel like you love all the getting down and dirty, and then the other parts, like, you're really in it.
Yeah, I just think they bring, as I said earlier, they bring a sense of slow to my world, because my world essentially is really fast. And like, everything is really fast moving, and it's on. But when I'm with them, it's just like, this is it. And it's just so lovely. And they're at a gorgeous stage now. I'm probably blurred in my memory of what it was like when they were younger. Like, I remember that it was very busy, very just, oh God, monotonous kind of in the everyday. But like, I don't, it hasn't traumatized me, that sort of way. Now, I didn't want any more children either.
No,
I was like, no. And I see a lot of my friends now that are starting to have babies, and I'm like, so grateful that I did it.
I thought I was Birdie there for a while, and I was like, no, I'm done with that stuff. And you're right, you can knock a bit of crack out of an 8-year-old and like get into the weeds and get, there's a bit more, there's more going on, isn't there?
Yeah, you can have real conversations with them, and they're both very polar different. Like, the way you try not to differentiate between like girl, boy, whatever. Mine came out pink and blue, and it was
so they just are there.
They're just stereotypical little girl, little boy, but they get on so unbelievably well. And I love watching them, because my sister, there was only 16 months between me and my second sister, and then 5-year gap then between the third sister. We're all so close, and I just hope really nice. That, I can see it in them already. They have such a gorgeous little connection, and I love that I've been able to give them that, and yeah, it's wonderful.
Where does the ambition, you spoke about your mum, I don't know if she was a career woman, I know she had her babas young, where does the hunger, the fire, the ambition, but also I love this belief, they've all bought into brand Charlene and brand Ella and Joe, like, where is the ambition from, your mum or your dad? Or
so both of them are self-employed.
There you go.
And both of them are the kindest people in the world. And I just always want to go around the world, and I want my legacy to be, she was kind. That's all I want. And whether that was kindness through actual physical products, because I developed something that was going to help people find confidence in themselves, whether that's through, doing podcasts, keynote speakers, whether that's just general day-to-day smiling at the cashier over the desk, or asking somebody, how are you today? Or actually helping somebody in their hour of need. My mum and dad are very like that. So that's all I want from life, to be honest. Because when I think of my parents and the love that we were shown growing up, and the things that people say when they meet me about my mum and dad, oh my God. I want that. I just want people not to say like, wasn't she so successful or whatever.
She was loaded, Charlene. She was gorgeous. It's not that.
No, it's just like, oh, she was just so lovely and she was kind. And I get messages like it all the time. Like you just said there, the significance, never underestimate, to anybody that's listening, never underestimate your ability, and the things that you do that light up somebody else. It could seem so insignificant to you, something you say in passing or just your presence has such a significance. And people might not tell you for a year, they might never tell you, they might tell you in 10 years. But I have people that have come back to me that said, Charlene, you said something to me in a DM 5 years ago and I've never forgotten it. And you're just going, oh my God, like I don't even
Strong
remember
women
that.
light a flame in other women who are maybe on the fence on things. And I'll always take a little, like you talk about Mel Robbins, she's obviously incredible at just, living your best life. But I think we need other strong women to have sown the path before us, because if we don't,
find them, because there's so many of them. And like when you are surrounded by those amazing people, and even online, like be really careful with who you follow online. Be really careful with the stuff that you listen to, that you watch, that you read. Like that all has the ability to kind of change our vibration and our energy. And if you are feeling stuck, and if you're feeling just really low, and you're just feeling like this isn't the best version of me, just be really aware of like, all right, who am I spending my time with? What am I spending my time? It's okay if you're sitting scrolling on your phone, but as long as the things that you're watching are actually benefiting you. Like I love a good quote. Like, I love it. When you're scrolling through and you're like, share our stories, or a good meme, or love Pinterest, for inspiration and,
I was
whatever.
going to say, how do you curtail or control that? I was going to say that you are very successful. Like you have a big brand here, Charlene. you are asked to do quite a lot. You are also raising children. And I know that you're very hands-on in that. How do you, because I'm struggling with that fine line. When you're on and you're talking about this wonderful, like some people hate and they bemoan the smartphone, but we're running businesses from it. We're making huge transactions. We're creating products. Like, how do you control that within the home with your kids? Are you very good at that?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like not all the time.
So you're not on social around them, you're not email, you're not, like how do
if
you...
I might throw on the telly for them and I might have a little scroll for myself. But no, I'm very aware that if they're in the room with me, that, you know, I'll try as much as I can. Now, if they're watching a silly SpongeBob SquarePants movie and I'm sitting watching it with them,
it doesn't
I'm like,
matter.
oh,
But when they're engaging with you, I have to be very cognizant now to put it away because I can just see them needing me and I'm trying to answer. I'm always like, this is so important. Like,
I think that's the thing for me is that it changes my personality, you know, because you're in this state of fight or flight, and then they're like, "Mummy," and you're like, "What?" You know, and then it's like, it's not their fault.
It changes you completely when you're in phone mode. Like when you're in pissy phone mode or trying to get things done or book guests even, or I notice myself being like, what, like they don't know what I'm doing.
No, I know they don't, and you're their world essentially, and like I'm really conscious that I have an 8 and a 7-year-old now, and it's not going to be too long before they probably have their own device. And I suppose you gotta practice what you preach, you know. And it's like there will come a stage at the dinner table, you know, when you hear of other families and they say like getting the teenagers off the phones like late at night or like at the dinner table, and you're like, well, do you know, it's kind of monkey see, monkey do, you know? So I'm very conscious of that, but I'm not really hard on myself about it either. I'm like, I catch myself sometimes and go, oh.
Same. Like, or if one of them says, Mom, put your phone, like if they say that, I'm like, oh my God. But it's something I'm also like,
Mummy has stuff to do. Yes. I am here in your presence.
I'm present. I'm making
and I'm
you
trying,
food.
You know, and it's like...
And back in the day, the man, if there was someone who would be off in an office on a laptop all day, and so there wasn't that visibility of him working, and he'd come in and he was a hero, right?
Yeah.
So my dad was the kind of breadwinner. And so he got to do that. But I think you're right. There's a bleed into your work on a phone like you and I have.
Yeah, it's very invasive, isn't it?
It is a bit. You're not separating it. And that's something I do is on my mind. What is the dream? So what do you enjoy doing? Are you big travelers, your family? Are you kind of just seek joy at home? Do you love your home life? Like, what is the dream for you and your family?
So I love both of those things that you just said. I love my home. It's my favorite place to be. And
I bet it's a gorgeous home. We might get down there for like a pretend interview.
Yeah, I have to say now I love interiors. My mum and my granny were really big into interiors. So I just take it from them. Just love my home, love spending time in our home. And but then I live for holidays, like absolutely live for it. So like my husband is always like, oh dear God, I'm like on the travel websites and I'm like here.
I just love getting away.
Yeah, and like the dream is really that I want to get to stages like my mum and dad have come away on holidays with us like the last 2 years on our, like we go to the same place kind of every year and then we do other travel-y bits as well. I want to be able to bring them with me. You know, I just want to be able, like my dream is down the line, I want to be able to buy a property somewhere beautiful and warm, but it's not about the property. It's actually because when get everyone together in a lovely place with blue skies, because the weather does have an ability to change our mood and whatever. And I know that when I go on holidays, I'm very good at like the switch off kind of piece. Well, switching off from the bits that drag me down. I'll still be on social media and kind of whatever else kind of buzzing in and out. But I would love to be able to have a property abroad that I could take my family, you know, my immediate family, mum, dad, sisters, whatever. So we could all just spend time together, like eat lovely food, drink loads of tea and just have the crack. Because we all love being in each other's company, but life doesn't allow you to do that all the time. So down the line, that is the dream. That's what I would aspire to get to. But in the meantime, I'll just book loads of holidays.
I love that.
Yeah.
You are a ray of sunshine, Charlene Flanagan. Like the minute I came in there, I was like, oh, she's a vibe. You're just a ray of sunshine. And I think that's probably, whatever you believe comes true. That's probably why you're such a huge success, because you just, you know, you can see it's coming from your pores. So much love and luck for the rest of this journey with it. And maybe we'll talk to you again. But like, you are incredible and a badass mama too.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
To all my gorgeous listeners, because every parent deserves peace of mind, I'm thrilled to share that this episode is brought to you in partnership with Optimal Follow-On Milk, the #1 follow-on milk brand in Ireland. Optimal Follow-On Milk is a product you can trust. It's specially designed to support babies' growth and development as it contains calcium and vitamin D, which contributes to the normal growth and development of bone. With over 50 years of dedicated breast milk research, Optimal Follow-On Milk brings science and care together to support your baby's journey. Optimal Follow-On Milk, your life, our science. And if you enjoy Little Birdie Told Me, it means so much to me if you like it, subscribe it, even review it or share it with others. Thank you so much.